Right, Aaron, first question is cricket related, which is quite appropriate today, but who do you think is going to win the Ashes this year?
It's a no-brainer. The Aussies, the English have obviously had a good start, so all the closet cricket fans of England have come out. So, got with a bit of stick at the minute, but when we win 4-1, I'll be able to get my own back.
Okay. What are your views on the new stadium name, World of Smile Stadium?
It's all right, I suppose. It's quite appropriate. Hopefully, the way we play can bring a few smiles to the fans and supporters. So, no, I think it's good. I think this day and age, everyone's getting their stadium sponsored. Last year it happened at Torquay with us there. So this year, obviously, Cheltenham's got a little bit extra money in, and it's good for the club. It's good for the local business as well. World of Smile obviously promote their business, so I think it's good all round. Quite happy with that.
Awful question here, but have you ever owned a hat with corks hanging from the brim?
No.
Do you want to be captain, or does it not really matter to you?
Oh, well, it would be nice, yeah. I mean, it's always an honour and a privilege to represent the club as the captain. But as far as changing me as a person or a player, no, it wouldn't change a thing. If one of the other lads was captain, then I'd be right behind them, support them. But it wouldn't change the way I am as a person and as a player. I'd still try and, as an older player, an experienced player, try and be a natural leader and try and help the younger lads out. So whether I've got the armband on or not, that won't affect me as a person or a player. But being captain would definitely be an honour and a privilege.
Do you have dual nationality?
Yes, I'm Australian with an English passport.
Which of the home countries could you play international football for?
I don't really know, but it wouldn't matter the slightest. Australia's the only national team I'd ever play for. If England said, "Would you come play for me tomorrow?" then it'd be a firm no. Same with Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. So there'd never be any trouble there. It's only ever Australia. So yeah.
Do you prefer to be up over or down under?
Well, down under's where I'm from, where I'm born and bred. My native land, and I love the country. But that's not to say that I've not grown fond of England. I've been here 11, nearly 12 years now. So my wife's English, so if I moved down under, then it might be leaving her. So I don't think she'd be too happy about it. Or she might be happy about it, actually, but I wouldn't be too happy about leaving her behind. But I'd say down under, definitely.
Marmite or Vegemite?
Well, I can't believe that's a question. It's Vegemite all day long. You wouldn't find Marmite in the Downs household, that's for sure.
Neighbours or home and away?
Home and away. Neighbours is Melbourne. I'm sort of New South Wales, close to Sydney, so home and away. I don't watch either.
Growing up, which sports stars inspired you?
Going back to cricket, Steve Waugh. I think he obviously had talent to get where he was, but he was the mentally toughest person and character and player I think cricket's had, and he knew his strengths and he played to them well, and he was a fighter, a winner. He turned Australian cricket around, I think, for the better. He brought in a lot of good things, and it was definitely someone, a sports personality that I looked up to in the sporting world. Not necessarily football-wise, obviously, but it definitely is someone I looked up to.
Can you explain Aussie rules football in one sentence?
Not really an Aussie rules fan. It's more of a southern sport, but I'd say fast, aggressive, crazy with some silly rules.
Are you living in Cheltenham, and how are you finding life in the town, if so?
Yeah, we've moved up from Torquay. My wife's originally from Chesterfield, so we relocated 3 years ago down to Torquay, but we've now moved back up, so it's only a couple of hours from her parents and her family in Chesterfield. So yeah, we love it. Yeah, it's a really beautiful place from what we've seen so far. I've been here about a month now, and seen some lovely places. Had one or two day trips to the Cotswolds and had a look about the town. And it seems a really lovely place, and we're really enjoying it.
Who's your favourite Minogue sister?
I'll probably go with Kylie. I think she sort of hit the scene earliest and has been around quite long, and I think the English people hold her, sort of a little special spot in their heart for her. So I'd go with Kylie.
Can you play any stereotypical Australian instruments like the didgeridoo?
Can I play the didgeridoo? I'll give it a bash. I had a didgeridoo when I was a young kid. I got one bought for me, and I'd mess about and play it, but I can't play it properly. And as far as musical wise, I'm terrible. So no, not really. But I'd give it the didgeridoo a bash.
Okay. What do you think is the best part of your game?
I'd probably say heading ability. I'm quite aggressive when it comes to attacking the ball in the air, so I'd probably say heading.
You're seen as a leader on the pitch. Do you see yourself going into coaching and management in the future?
Yeah, it's a tough business and tough industry to get into. I've done some coaching badges and I'm still doing some now, and it is something I'd like to go into, coaching and definitely management. It's something I want to have in place when I retire from football. So if the opportunity arose, then I'm in the position to go ahead and take that role if it's the right role for me, and I wanted to. So I'm still not 100% on what I want to do when I retire. I'm sure most footballers aren't, but I think that's sort of the way I would look to go down is coaching and management. Yes.
If you could sign one former teammate, who would it be?
Well, he's retired now, but probably Jack Lester from Chesterfield. He could get a goal out of nothing. He was obviously prolific when he was with us at Chesterfield, and he's good in the change room. It can be a nightmare at times because he's so determined to win. But that's a good attribute, and he can bring the best out in players. So yeah, probably Jack.
Tui or Vic Bitter?
Tui's for me. Vic Bitter's VB. It's a southern beer again from Melbourne. Tui's is more New South Wales, closer to me. So if I was having a beer when I go back home, I'd probably have a Tui's New.
Foster's or 4X?
4X, Queensland beer. Foster's, you'd struggle to get one in Australia, if I'm honest. So 4X.
I can't believe somebody's actually asked this, but have you ever put another shrimp on the barbie?
Any self-respecting Australian has never put a shrimp on the barbie, let's be honest. Dumb and Dumber's got a lot to explain for Jim Carrey.
When did you first come to England, and what do you miss most about Australia?
I come to England 4th of January, 2004, and I miss my family.
How did you feel? I know you're still confident of a 4-1 win, but how did you feel watching the Aussies go down in the first test?
It was frustrating, but a lot of ex-players and, Michael Clark himself have come out and said they were beaten by the better team. So I'm not going to go against that. I think that's probably a right summary. It was frustrating because I just think the Aussies underperformed, and I know they're better than what they showed in that test. So they've played some really good cricket leading up to the Ashes, and they are a good side. So I'm not. Well, I say it was frustrating at the time, but I'm not panicking at the minute.
You might have touched on this already, but who's your favourite Australian cricketer?
Steve Waugh, with Ricky Ponting a close second.
If you weren't a footballer, what do you think you'd be doing now?
I don't know. I'd definitely be involving sport. I think maybe PE teacher. When I was before, my football career started taking off. When I was at school, that was the line I was going down. I always wanted to be a footballer, and that was something I always wanted to do. But I also thought if it doesn't happen, it doesn't work for me, then I would probably go to university and become a PE teacher. That's probably something I would ought to do.
Who's the best centre back you've ever partnered?
Best centre back I've played with.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. It's been a few. I've enjoyed a couple of good partnerships over the years. Ruben Hazel, my early days at Chesterfield. So enough, he was good. It was good for me. He was good on the ball. He was a good talker, especially when I was younger, which helped make me a better player. And he allowed me to just go and dominate in the air and win things. And he sort of just kept me on. And Brian Sarah played with it at Torquay. We had a good couple of months, 6 months really, together for a while there. So I'd probably say Ruben Hazel.
There's 2 questions in one. Who's the toughest player you played against ever, and the toughest you played against in the conference last season?
Toughest I've played against ever. It's tough to say. I've been quite lucky to play against some really good players, sort of the back end of their career. I played against. When you say toughest, the hardest games I've had was probably against Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank when he was at Charlton. But like I say, he was in the twilight of his career really. It was the back end, but he ended up scoring a hat-trick against me that day, and he was very good. But toughest, I remember playing against Bristol City. Steve Brooker, the centre forward. I ended up with a few black eyes after that game, that's for sure. The toughest I played against last year, as in strongest, it's hard to say. I'm going to say Danny Wright. I played against him twice last year, I think. But yeah, I remember playing against Kidderminster at our place. Him and Lee Hughes were up front, and it was definitely a battle. We ended up winning the game, Torquay, but it was definitely a tough battle. They played the long ball, and with Hughes and Wright up front, you're always in for a tough game. So playing against them two was a tough afternoon, but one I definitely enjoyed.
Do you get much stick about your grey hairs, and how are you coping with going grey slightly prematurely?
Well, it's not happened overnight. It's been since about 22, 23 really. I've been going grey. I can't stick, but it doesn't bother me in the slightest. It's water off a duck's back really. It's George Clooney's grey. I don't need to say much more.
Tim Tams or Penguins?
Tim Tams Australian, so obviously Tim Tams. Lovely.
Do you own a pair of budgie smugglers?
I definitely do. I'm wearing a pair at the minute. I love a pair of Speedos. Anyone who's played with me knows that. It's quite a bit of a trademark.
Good day or hello?
G'day all day long.
Any particular games looking forward to this season more than others?
Yeah, obviously coming from Torquay last year, then it'll be nice to go back down there and play against them and see some friendly faces. It's a lovely club. I had 3 good years there and enjoyed it. So yeah, looking forward to going back there and beating them. And then there's always the bigger grounds go to Tranmere, a hostile crowd and quite a big stadium. So that'll be a good away trip. I'm looking forward to my first game at home as well, because making my home debut will be very nice, and playing for a new club. So looking forward to them.
Any you're not particularly looking forward to?
No, the usual ones that crop up are like Welling away on a Tuesday or Braintree away or something. I revel in them. I like them kind of games. They suit me a bit more than most. So no, it's never a chore being a footballer.
How did Gary Johnson convince you to come to Cheltenham?
It didn't have to do too much convincing, if I'm honest. I've known Gary. I played with his son. I've known Gary for a long time, and when he rung, he just inquired and said, how would you feel about coming over to chat and coming up to Cheltenham and having a look about? So it was a definite yes to start with. Yeah, I'm definitely interested. It was sort of quite easy, really, quite simple. I come up and I look around the training ground, and that was a massive plus point for me. I think it's so important having a good solid base, and Cheltenham's one of the best it's probably the best at this level and the level above even. So it's that was a big positive, and Gary's experience.